Right, guys, let's watch the dumbest lottery winners of all time.
£3 million lottery ticket in the bin to spending an entire $16 million prize in under 90 days. These are the absolute dumbest lottery winners of all time, beginning with Jose Antonio Cuartoc, who almost lost his entire lottery fortune after getting someone else to claim the money for him. You see, when Jose won the 750...
Oh no, I watched a movie the other day. What movie? No, it was a Columbo episode where a guy gets his uncle to cash in his lottery ticket so that he doesn't have to pay his wife that's going to divorce him. And then the uncle kills the guy and keeps the ticket. I saw this the other day on Columbo.
$1,000 jackpot back in 2010. He was living in the US illegally, so Jose asked his boss to claim the prize on his behalf, as he feared he couldn't claim the money without potentially facing legal trouble and deportation.
No.
This worked out perfectly until Jose's boss began to falsely state that he was the one who had actually purchased the ticket. Taking legal action against his boss was risky, given Jose wasn't supposed to be in the country at all. However, given he had security camera footage of him purchasing the ticket, Jose did so and was able to prove that he was the rightful owner to the $750,000 prize. Only $250,000 this went to taxes, another $250,000 was spent on court fees, and throughout the legal process, Jose was jailed for drunk driving and was deported back to Guatemala as soon as he won the court case. However, at least Jose Antonio Cuartoc got to keep some of his winnings, as Denise Rossi wasn't so fortunate. When Denise won a jackpot of $1.3 million back in 1996, she'd been married to Thomas Rossi for over 25 years, yet their relationship was apparently lacking in transparency, as Denise didn't tell her husband about the win and instead filed for divorce only 11 days after buying the lucky ticket. I was afraid to tell Thomas because I knew he would try to take the money away from me. I went to the Lottery Commission office and told them I was married but contemplating divorce. They told me to file before I got my first check, which I did. Denise was initially successful in hiding the money from her now ex-husband, as for a whole 2 years after their divorce, Thomas had no idea that Denise had ever won the lottery. However, in May 1999, a letter was sent to Thomas's home address, asking if Denise was interested in a lump sum buyout of her lottery winnings. This was the first Thomas knew about the lottery prize. He confirmed that Denise was a winner with the California lottery, and given they were still married at the time of the win, Thomas launched a lawsuit stating that he was entitled to half of the prize money.
He wants
the
that
judge
money.
specifically found that Denise's failure to disclose the lottery winnings constituted
Thomas
fraud,
wants his
oppression,
bag.
and malice, and as a result, the trial court awarded Thomas 100% of the lottery winnings, which left Denise with less than nothing, considering she also had to pay for her own legal fees.
What?
However, Denise's
Constituted as fraud? Denise's failure to disclose the winnings constituted fraud, oppression, and malice. The trial awarded him all the lottery money. He just gets all the money off.
For her own legal fees.
No.
However, Denise's loss of $1.3 million was still nothing in comparison to Evelyn Adams. Dubbed the luckiest woman in America, Evelyn Adams became the first person in human history to win the lottery twice, initially for $3.9 million in October 1985, before winning another $1.4 million only 4 months later.
No
With the
way.
probability of this win being approximately 1 in 17.3 trillion, Evelyn seemed to realize that she had no lottery luck left, by stating that she was going to quit playing, and instead began to buy various businesses, including the convenience store where the lucky tickets had been purchased. While you could argue that this was a smart move, Evelyn still hadn't fixed her gambling problem, and instead of buying more lottery tickets, she instead took the rest of her winnings to the Atlantic City casinos, where she lost her entire remaining fortune to the slot machines.
Oh, Jesus. The slots got her? No way, man.
Left, her businesses failed one after the other. And by 2012,
God.
Evelyn was living in a trailer park, while stating to the media, winning the lottery isn't always what it's cracked up to be. Kelly Rogers likely had a similar outlook, as after winning over $1.8 million at the age of only 16, her life was also ruined. Initially, Kelly stated, I will not go wild and spend loads. I'm going to take some advice and see an accountant. Hopefully, that will make us all comfortable. I want to help my family, but I won't change. I just want a normal home, nothing posh. I just want a normal car as well. However, as soon as she received the money, Kelly instead spent £11,500 on 2 boob jobs, $300,000.
I just want the essential stuff, you know, a good home, a basic car, some double Ds.
£1,000 on clothes, makeup, and tattoos.
300 grand on clothes? I was thinking this the other day. The whole like female makeup industry must make so much money, dude. Because like every girl wears makeup, foundation, eyeliner, hair dye, you know, cosmetic stuff. They must make so much money every year, that industry. And this chick's out here spending £300,000 on clothes. That's like, how much is that? 20% of her winnings? She won 1.9 million, spent 300 grand on clothes, 80 grand on cars. Oh my god. Oh, it continues.
As well as £85,000 on top of the range sports cars. Kelly spent a further £250,000 on holidays to locations including Mexico and Euro Disney, £118,000 on gifts to former boyfriends, £190,000 in unreturned loans to friends and family members, and
how do you spend $250,000 on a holiday? Like, I can go to Euro Disney. Doesn't cost me $250,000. I could get to Mexico probably tomorrow for 800 quid. What are they spending? What are they like spending the money on? 100 grand gifts to former boyfriends. She's a simp, yeah. 190 in unreturned loans to friends, family members. Well, at least she gave her family some stuff. And 50 grand solicitor fees.
£50,500 on solicitor's fees, all of which being purchased while she was still in high school. Kelly did make a few smart purchases, such as an £180,000 bungalow and a £96,000 home for her mum.
However,
by the end of the year, Kelly was back to square one, being on welfare with only £2,000 left in her account.
God.
She since stated it was too much money for someone so young. Even if you say your life won't change, it does, and often not for the better.
Why didn't her parents secure it or
I just wish I was a bit
something?
older at the time of winning it, because I think at 16 you're still just a child, and overnight you've just got to grow up and become an adult.
Which is probably why she's now an advocate for raising the UK's legal gambling age from 16 to 18. Kelly Rogers certainly
How'd she get her tits done at 16?
However, at least she had the chance to spend it, as 25-year-old Amanda Clayton from Detroit was no longer alive by the end of her spending spree. When Amanda won the $1 million jackpot back in 2011, it seemed as though her life had been changed overnight. However, her win quickly became controversial after the media learned that she was still collecting food stamps and benefit payments despite having won the lottery.
Detroit woman is now the second lotto winner in the state to keep taking food stamps after hitting it big. And Amanda Clayton, who won $1 million and took home a $700,000 lump sum. The 24-year-old says even though she now owns 2 homes, she figured she was still allowed to use a bridge card.
After being confronted about the behavior, Amanda had the following to say.
I thought that they would cut me off, but since they didn't, I thought maybe it was okay because I'm not working.
And shortly thereafter, she was charged with 2 felony counts of welfare fraud and was ordered to pay back the $5,500 worth of food stamps she'd received. While Amanda quickly paid the $5,500 back, she never got the chance to spend the rest of the money, as only 6 months later she would unfortunately overdose in one of her 2 homes.
He says she was tormented by the fame and the problems that came with winning the lottery.
What's the point of having money if you're not going to have happiness?
He says she didn't want the money anymore and bought things for her family and set up college funds for her children. He says she only had $67,000 of her winnings left.
The end to Amanda Clayton's story was somewhat unexpected. However, a 2-second glance at Ryan McGee is more than enough to predict that this lottery win would eventually end in disaster.
Come on, McGee.
After winning £6.4 million back in 2008 at the age of 27, Ryan was placed on the Sunday Times Top 100 Rich list for young people. He purchased a luxury mansion in his home country of Ireland, which featured 5 bedrooms, an indoor swimming pool, a full champagne bar, and a 2-car garage where he kept his brand new Ferrari 458 Italian.
Jesus, fair play though, dude. You got 7 million. Like, what else are you gonna do? I tell you what, if I had 7 million,
age of 26.
I am 100% getting a massive house. Well, not like massive, right? But like a big old house where I can expand stuff.
Was placed on the Sunday Times.
Bunging the family in it. That's like number one. That is a first purchase.
Top 100 rich list for young people.
Definite
He purchased
house
a
instantly. Can't blame this guy.
luxury mansion in his home country of Ireland, which featured 5 bedrooms, an indoor swimming pool, a full champagne bar, and a 2-car garage where he kept his brand new Ferrari 458 Italia.
Probably wouldn't get a Ferrari. I'm not into cars very much.
Things began to go terribly.
Give a shit
Only 3
about
years
cars.
after buying the Ferrari, Ryan slipped off the road, crashing the car into a field, mainly because he was driving in the snow. Locals were amazed Ryan was driving the Ferrari in that weather, especially when he had a more suitable Range Rover he could use.
No,
the Ferrari was not understood to be running on winter tires, which, while costing around £4,400, hugely boost grip and handling in icy conditions. Ryan's property development business then dissolved, which was accompanied by a divorce from his wife and the sale of his luxury home. Then, 2 years later, Ryan McGee was pulled over driving an uninsured Ford Focus without a license. However, the most interesting part is that he had to claim legal aid, which is a service for those who are unable to afford a lawyer. Now, Ryan McGee was a complete idiot with his money. However, he still looks like Albert Einstein when compared to Martin Todt. When Martin and his wife Kay won £3 million back in 2001, they didn't go in to claim the prize because, well, they had no idea that they were winners.
They don't look very happy, do they? Gee, look at her eyes, man.
They only come to realize that they were the winners after hearing about the unclaimed prize over 6 months later. The main problem was that at some point, the ticket had been misplaced or thrown out completely. Despite frantically searching, the pair couldn't find their ticket, but were sure they had won because the jackpot numbers matched the ones they used every week. Computer records in their local Londis proved Kay really had purchased the ticket, and the thrilled pair rushed to tell lottery organizer Camelot to claim their prize. But they fell victim to a little-known rule, stating lost tickets must be reported within 30 days. After 45 days of deliberation, Camelot told the
They use the same numbers every week. My mum used to do that with her auntie, with her sister. I don't understand why they did it. I get if one person does the same numbers because it's just random, but 2 people? You should just both do different numbers and then agree to split the money. I never understood why they did that. In their local Londis. We don't have Londis shops around here anymore. They fell victim to a little-known rule stating lost tickets must be reported within 30 days. Oh, no.
Devastated couple that they would not be collecting the jackpot. And as a result, the couple's marriage eventually came to an end. We'd only known each other for 2 years, and the lottery ordeal quickly highlighted our differences. All we did was bicker. Sadly, both of us agreed we should split, and Kay moved out. Martin seems to have convinced himself that losing the ticket ended up being a good thing, having stated, "For a long time, I lost sight of who I was and what I believed in."
Look at Obby in the chat. $1 million ain't that much. Fucking big spender over there. You know, like 50 mil. Yeah, that's like, you know, that's quite a bit of money. But like, you know, $1 million ain't that much. It's fucking 4 houses. A shitload of money. Obviously, just like, yeah, fucking $1 million. I spit on $1 million.
I didn't get the $3 million.
I wiped my ass with $1 million.
No guarantee it would have brought me happiness. And if there's anyone else who would have agreed with this statement, it definitely would have been the most miserable lottery winner of all time.
Oh no.
Post. When William won a $16.2 million jackpot back in 1988, he had just $2.46 in his bank account and was able to purchase the lucky ticket by selling a ring for $40 to a local pawn shop. This, in conjunction with the time he'd spent in jail for cashing invalid checks, highlighted William Post's awful money management skills and acted as foreshadowing for how poorly his lottery win was eventually going to be spent. Only 84 days after receiving the $16.2 million, William Post had spent the entire fortune on a boat, a lease for a restaurant in Florida, a used car lot, as well as a private jet. However, even after all of the money had been spent, Post took on a further $500,000 loan to purchase a mansion in Oil City, Pennsylvania. The problem was that William hadn't actually purchased the original ticket himself and had rather given the money to his girlfriend who had bought the winning ticket for him. Because of this, she was able to successfully sue him for 1/3 of the winnings, meaning that Post now owed $5.4 million to his ex-girlfriend from the $16.2 million that he no longer had. 16 million, and he blew through it like nothing. Jesus. And then into more debt. Does it like warp their brain and they think they're Tom Cruise for like a month or something? Is that what happens?
It's not 4 houses round there. Yeah, but who wants to live round there? Right? And traffic, pollution, noisy, crime everywhere. Fuck that. You'd have to pay me to live there. No way I'm going to live anywhere near there, mate. No chance. Unless I win the lottery. I don't even play the lottery, though, so I can't even win it. Tender pays 3 times the rent for what's pretty much the same size as you had up here. Yeah, it's insanely expensive around London. Even Essex is on the way. Yeah, that's next to London, though, isn't it? Pretty much. Aren't they bordered?
Since Post was unable to make this payment, the judge ordered that his bank account be frozen until he was able to come up with the money. However, before he was able to sell enough stuff to pay the $5.4 million, William was arrested and ordered to serve a 6 to 24-month prison term for an assault charge from 6 years prior. Toward the end of his life, Post was on his 7th marriage with over $1 million in debt and was getting by on food stamps and a job paying $450 per month. However, William Post still doesn't have the craziest lottery win story of all time. That title goes to Andrew Jackson Whitaker. His life would change forever after winning $315 million back in 2002. Unlike almost everyone else in this video, Whitaker was actually quite successful prior to winning the lottery, having built up a net worth of over $17 million with the assistance of his construction company. And while this would imply that he was in a position to manage a large lottery win, this isn't what would happen. Whitaker instantly donated 10% of the winnings to churches, Christian groups, and spent a further $14 million establishing the Jack Whitaker Foundation, which provided free food and clothing for low-income families in West Virginia.
That's good.
Obviously, you're doing God's work with all this money.
Yes, I am. I'm helping a lot of people, and I plan to help a lot more.
He then drove back to the convenience store where he had purchased the ticket before giving the clerk a $44,000 check, a $123,000 house, and a brand new Jeep Cherokee, which was followed by Whitaker buying himself a Lamborghini, in which he'd drive around his neighborhood throwing money out of the window.
He's just buying people stuff? Like random people?
He then drove back to the convenience store where he had purchased the ticket before giving the clerk a
the convenience store he got it from.
$4,000 check, a $123,000.
Jesus, imagine that you're at work and this guy walks in, gives you 44 grand and then a 100 grand house. Houses down here, like a really good house is like 300 grand probably.
House and a brand new Jeep.
A really good house that's just bigger with more rooms is like $500,000.
Cherokee, which was followed by Whitaker buying himself a Lamborghini, in which he'd drive around his neighborhood throwing money out of the window. After flaunting this wealth, his Lamborghini was broken into, where thieves stole $545,000 in cash. However, this apparently wasn't much of a wake-up call.
He's driving around with 500 grand in the car? People that leave stuff in their cars, I'll never understand it, man. The only thing in our car right now is a Corona mask, a sat-nav charger, and a pair of gloves. And a sponge to wipe the window when it's misting over. Driving around with 500 grand in there? Jesus Christ. Gloves, yoink, yeah. You want to carry it back and forth? just this crazy old man with a cowboy hat just going, yeehaw, throwing like 50 grand wads at people in the street.
As his car was then broken into for the second time, resulting in the loss of a further $200,000 cash. Jack Whitaker's granddaughter passed away, his daughter then passed away, which was followed by a divorce with his wife.
And now you've lost your granddaughter, you're about to be divorced from
lost
your wife.
Both generations?
Leading him to state that he had lost everything.
I pretty much lost everything I had. Out here in my life.
You got lots of money.
Money has never meant anything to me. You have to have money to exist in this world, but money doesn't rule the world. Money is not what makes people happy.
And that he wished he had never purchased the lottery ticket in the first place.
My wife had said she wished that she'd torn the ticket up. Well, I wish that we had torn the ticket up too. I just don't like what I've become.
Wow. That was the positive video of the day. That was pretty sad at the end. Didn't expect that plot twist. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It seems like, I'm sure, well, this is just a small sample of people, but I'm sure that there's thousands of lottery winners that are very happy with winning it, you know. Buy the house, sort the family out, you know, get their life secured, and then that's it. Just carry on living like normal. But these are just extreme cases of what can go wrong when, you know, it's in the wrong hands or whatever. Well, GG. And what we learnt from this was that $1 million ain't a lot of money, I guess.